Hello, my name is Gary Oakes and I'm doing a number of tutorials on Tailor Brand's advanced website builder. You may have already tried the automatic website builder, but soon discover actually it's quite limited. And you will need to move on to the advanced website builder. And I'm just going to give an overview about the advanced website builder. This is not something you need to be frightened of. Once you're in the studio, go to website and we create new. This is the automatic website builder, which is a great place to start, to have a play, to have a feel, but actually it is limited. You will need to move on to the advanced website builder. I have produced a number of video tutorials to help you on your way. So let's select this. It's worth also pointing out that you can build a website for free. You will need to select a template that does not have the crown. The best place to start is under Business and look for templates that do not have the crown. So here's one here, another one here. You can preview these to see if you like any of these before you take them on. We could go for something like this one here, Consulting, and I'm just going to press Edit. Now I've chosen the template, I'm in the editing environment. Let's just preview this here. So this is what you can purchase on the basic plan. It has 3 pages: Home, Services, and Contact. And even on the home page, there is quite a lot here to look at. And remember, you can change everything on this template. The 3 pages you can change, the colors, the fonts, the images, everything can be changed. Let's go back to the editor. For the basic plan, there are a few things that you will not have access to, and you'll only gain access to these bits and pieces if you go to the standard plan. One of them you may have seen flashing up here is this one, which is to look at the HTML and CSS coding of the website. Don't worry about that. It may sound technical. It's something that if you want to have some additional functionality, if you're not familiar with HTML and CSS, etc., you can pay for someone to do it. The other thing you're limited to really is that you're not able to produce a blog. If you try to add a blog, it tells you to upgrade. E-commerce, that is really for the premium plan. Personalize, these are different additional things you can add, like a notification bar for visitors, for the first visitor. There are things like that. And again, you may not need any of these anyway. I think that's it. So in terms of limitation, really it's 3 pages. And if you need more pages, you'll need to go to the standard plan. Let's look a bit more about how the page is made up. We have a header. And if I go up the top here, it says header. We then have this video being played here in the banner, if you want a banner. And then we have these rows. So the whole website is made up of rows. And you add and delete rows accordingly. And at the bottom here, we have what we call the footer. And all of these can be changed on a page-by-page basis. Apart from the header and the footer is the same for all pages. There are some standard designs you might want to set up before you start. And if I go to design here, you have the opportunity to add your own text. It might be a font that you want. So there's a whole list of fonts here. If there's a font that doesn't appear here that you like, you can then go onto the A+, and you can actually upload fonts. Custom fonts, Google fonts, and you can upload them. So you can actually add your own fonts to this. You can set up the paragraph fonts, and then you've got the H tags. So you've got H1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. And these are all the different sizes that you can get when you add text. You can create your global buttons and how you would like these to look when you add them. You've got different styles here that you can select. You can change the button style, as I said, the text, the color, and so forth. There is a tutorial on how to manage how to add buttons, which may be of use. In terms of global images, I would probably leave it as it is. Global rows, I would leave this as it is. Site background, I would leave this as it is. Site layout. It's worth pointing this out. If you are looking to have a sidebar, you may want to select this one. And now we have a sidebar. And we can change the sidebar accordingly. If I go back to design, I'm going to stick with this one. We have a container within the website. So the container is set so that the content is within a certain range within the website itself. So this information here is within a container. Otherwise, the text will go right to the ends of this page. It will take up the full page. This image here is taking up the full page, but this bit here in this row hasn't. It's contained. If I go to design and site layout, this is where the content width is changed. You can change the container size here. You can have it at 960 or you can have it at 1200. It makes it a bit wider. And in terms of full width, we'll come on to that on an individual row basis. It's also worth adding responsive to desktop and tablet. You can always click these question marks to understand what this means. So that's a good place to start. Just going down the list here, pages, we have 3 pages. If you try to add a 4th, it will say you will need to upgrade. You can change the name by, if you click the wheel, you can rename it. Widgets, you have access to all the widgets, and these are the widgets that for text, image, and there's so many widgets here. I've done a number of tutorials on the main widgets. It's worth watching those. In terms of content, you can add your business information here. You can add some business text and some business images. And you also have the site content. So this is where you can manage your images, your files. This is where all your images are, your files, and any responses from contacts. At the bottom here, you also have some more settings where you can add your favicon. This is an image that appears at the top of the search bar. You can put in site URL, SSL. A lot of these will come in more use when you have a domain name and you have published your website. That's a quick overview of some of the functionality. You can start with the header. If you go to header, you have edit content and design. So you can change the way the header looks. You might want a different style with, let's have a look what we have. So we can have this one here, for instance, just to show that you can change everything. So now we have a bar at the top here. Which you may find useful. If you have your own logo, you might want to change this altogether and you can replace it. You can upload your own. I'm going to add in, I don't think there's anything suitable. I'll just add this one here, just to show what I mean. And in terms of the navigation, you can have all the 3 pages, or if you wish to have custom your own, you can add your home, you can add another, and we have the services, add another, and we can have the contact. And that's what that is. If you would like this to go to the full page, if you go to row, and then edit design, and we just say full bleed row, and it then takes up the whole width. I'm not going to have that for the menu. I'm going to keep it at this level, which is the 1 to 100. And again, you can change what's up here as well. You can click on the various bits and pieces. This is the social media. You might want Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, etc. So they all start to appear at the top here. And in terms of the URLs, the links, you can then change them here accordingly. Because we've got this one here, we may not want that one on here, so we can just take that off. Now let's go to the footer. Here's the footer. And again, you can change all the different bits here. So if you click on footer, you can manage the layout. Again, you can manipulate the row here just like you would any other row. Just quickly, if you are looking for a video or an image at the top here, if you go into row, say we just want a slider. So we'll take the video off, I'll delete the video, and in this case there is an image here already, and you can create a background slider. And by doing that, I can then select various images. You can upload your own or use what's here. I'm just selecting anything at random at the moment. Let's see what this looks like. So now I have a slider. Change the logo here or take it off altogether by just clicking the cross. I can change the height by just dragging it down accordingly. There's a lot we can do here. You can add rows, delete rows. So if I want to add, I can add a row above. And I can put in some content via widgets. I might want to put in some text. So you can add the widgets. I would suggest you follow the tutorials on adding widgets to your website. You can delete a row. As I said, you can actually play with anything on the rows. You can change everything on this website to your liking. You might want a different way this looks. And the best way to do this is to go to the bottom of this and say add section. And we have the intro section. So this is how we might want the intro to look. And we've got various different templates here that we could use. This one looks a good one. Let's select this. And we save and save. That looks really cool. We might want that one instead of this one. So I'm just going to delete this one now. And I can make it bigger. You can change the text. As I said, those sections, adding sections is a really good way to do it. Let's have another one. Say we want some, let's say we now want to add in some testimonials. This is really useful to have at the bottom of the website, and we'll add this one. And you can change all of this accordingly. Let's save it. You can now change the images, the text, the people, but I've now added this to the website. And again, you can change the image in the background. There's the image. You can have it so it's not parallax scrolling. Take that off. That means it scrolls as the website goes up and down. If I choose parallax scrolling, it stays static as I move up and down. Let's just add one other thing on here just to give an example. So let's have an about, because that's a page that's missing. So if I now go to add section here, and we choose the about, and we can have this one here. I save it. So this is the about page now. So we've got, and what's useful now about having the about page here, you might want it up here on the menu. So if I now go to row and set as anchor, I can now type in about. We can add. It's now an anchor point. So that means if I click something in the menu that says about, it would then take me to this page. But we need to add the about up here on the menu. So if I go up here, and need to add the about on the navigation, add item. I now go to anchor. It's on the home page and it's called about. It's now added up here in the navigation. I go to preview, click about. It now takes me to the about part on the home page. So this is another way of actually adding in content in your navigation. by using anchor points, and it can take you to various places within the page. You can even add, you can have testimonials as another anchor point if you so wish. Going to adding sections, there's a whole range of things you can add here. It's a really good way to build up your website. The time spent really, once you've got your format in place, is your colors, your themes, your fonts, your images is where all the time is spent. Getting it to look fancy is not that difficult. For instance, this here's an animation. As we saw, it scrolled across as we came down to the page. What I mean by that, let me show you this now. So if I go if I click into this column design, go to animation, and if I just say preview, this piece is been animated to come across from the right. I can change that, and you can do animation on just about everything that you produce on the website. I might want it to come from the bottom. That's what that would look like. So you can add animation. And again, I've done a tutorial on how to add animation to most of the widgets that you can apply to the website. Just one last thing probably worth mentioning is if I click this contact, if I go to preview, if I click contact, a pop-up appears. So this is another way of adding like another page. You can make this pop-up quite large actually. Instead of having this taking you to the contact page, you can actually have a contact pop-up. Let's just show you where pop-ups are generated. If you go to pages, on here you've got pop-ups, and you can add as many pop-ups as you wish. I can have some different templates here. Visit us, add pop-up. Let's have another one. I can have promotion, add pop-up. The only issue you have is that some of these pop-ups you would want to occur when somebody first comes to your website. That's done through personalize, and that is not available on the basic plan, only on the standard plan. But you can open them by pressing a button. So if I go back to pages, let's go back to home. So instead of having a contact page, I can just have the button take me to the pop-up. So if I go on, click on the design of the contact, and this is where it says instead of existing page, it says select pop-up and contact us. So you can have pop-ups generated by clicking a button. You can have a button up here that takes you to a pop-up. So for instance, we can add another item. This time it's a pop-up, and we can say business analytics, we can say promotion. Let's preview this. So now we have a promotion button up here. If I click this, the promotion pop-ups. So using the advanced website builder is not too difficult. When you have designed your website and you want to publish it, you will then need to subscribe to one of the plans. This will give you the prices for 3 of the packages: basic, standard and premium. The basic is a great place to start if you're looking at a business website. Limited to 3 pages, but it's a good place to start. If you then feel like you need more pages and more functionality, you can then go on to the standard package. Premium is used if you're looking for an e-commerce site. With the standard, you can also create a blog. That's worth mentioning. You can pay monthly. It works out very expensive if you do so. Pay annually or biannually. It is cheaper on a per annual basis if you pay for 2 years. You can change the currency at the bottom here. So if this is for US dollars. If you would like to know for Great British Pound, this is the fees here. You can also change for other countries. So this is a good place to start to look at the fees. You will find these are very attractive prices on an annual basis for what you get. But before you can publish, you will need to have a domain name. If you go back to the studio, you can get a domain here. I have done a tutorial on how to do this. You can search for a domain. If you've already got a domain, I've also added that to the tutorial on how you actually bring your domain across. And that's it for this tutorial.